Hello, today we're going to take a look at how to use the Microsoft Project Connector in SharpCloud. So the first way we can get here is when we go to create a new story, we can come in, select our data connectors, and choose the Microsoft Project Online Connector. Now, I already have a story set up with the connector in it, so we're going to jump over to there. So the first thing we're going to do is log in and sync SharpCloud to our project. So what I can do is either put in my username as we have a online connection, and then I can now get an auth code through Office 365. Now, other ways that you could log in are if you had a app password, or if you were connecting to the server location, you could use your direct password there. So now I need my schedule URL. So if I jump over to our project page, I can see my schedule is here. If I scroll down, I can see I have some fields associated with this. So I can look at those, and I'm going to want to bring those fields over to SharpCloud. So I'm going to grab this URL, come back to our SharpCloud story, and just simply paste that in. Scroll down. I'm just going to hit connect. Now it's going to authenticate and link to that story. So this could take a couple moments. So now that we're here, what we're able to do is start to set up our configuration and map our fields. So I'm going to have our project name become the item name in SharpCloud. All of our projects are going to come into our project category, which I already defined in this story. As I scroll down, I can start to select my fields. So if I wanted to bring in cost, I could certainly do that. If I wanted to bring in maybe the date these were created, and what you'll notice is there's some fields populating already on the right-hand side because those attributes exist in SharpCloud already. So as I scroll down and maybe I come to finish, we'll say, okay, well, do I want finish to be called finish as a date attribute? Well, actually, I already have a project finish date that I'm going to map it to. So I continue down here. I'm going to want to grab our outline position potentially and keep moving forward. I'm going to get our start and map that to our project start. So now I can simply hit OK. And we're going to then populate and be able to read in that data from project. So here we can see the columns or fields I want to bring in. I can see everything is highlighted in blue because that means I'm going to create these in SharpCloud. They do not exist yet. You'll see in a little bit, if they were orange, they would be ready to update. So I'm going to just select all, make sure create is checked. I'm going to hit sync. And what's going to happen are all of those items with those attribute values are going to be populated in SharpCloud so we can use them on views. Additionally, any dependencies are also going to be brought over from project so we can look at those in SharpCloud as well. So once this is complete, a toaster will pop up in the bottom right saying our sync is complete. What we're now able to do is start looking at our views. So I can just confirm, yes, that data is there from project. I can see the dependencies were brought over as well. I can maybe start to visualize that data in a different way, maybe look at a chart around our project cost and see that total value. But what I want to do is start to edit it and interact with this data. So if I look at a timeline view here, here's the timeline that was generated based on our project details. So what I can now do is see I have our outline position plotted on the y-axis. So if I click in here to 3, we can see that I have a sub 3.1 and 3.2 that populated there. I can now come back, look at everything holistically. But what you'll notice is we have some dependencies that are out of order. And I can see that in SharpCloud because we have a red relationship line or a green relationship line. So I need to make some edits. And SharpCloud's giving me those visual cues that I need to take action. So I can do a couple things here. I can maybe move item 7 before item 1 and just simply drag things around. And we can see the line is changing. Maybe I want to push item 11 out, and I can maybe change some dates here. So maybe I want item 1. We actually think this is going to take a little bit longer. So I can simply drag that to maybe, let's say, the end of June here. So we made some changes. All of our dependencies are in order. We can see everything's aligned because everything's in green. So now what we want to do is push this update back to project. So to do that, I'm simply going to come to my connector. This will reload for a second. fetch our data, make sure I come back into it. So what we're going to do now is rather than go to the read in from SharpCloud's section, we're actually going to go to update project. So what I can do is just hide our unchanged rows so I can quickly see the updates that we made. We made some project finished and project start date changes. So what I'm going to do is make sure we're going to update everything. And you'll notice I want to make sure I have update checked here. I don't need create because nothing's being created. If I did create a new item, I could also push that out to project. But what I'm going to do is just hit sync. This could take a moment. All right. So we successfully checked in and out and published our test project. So now what I can do is come over to our project page. We'll know that we changed the finish date for project 1. So I'm just going to simply refresh this. And now, just as we saw in the tool, if I look at item 1, which we moved out to June, I can see that item 1 now has a finish. So just like that, we're able to simply work in SharpCloud, make some edits, and then push those out to project. So that is a quick example of how to use our project connector. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to a member of our team. Thank you.
Your data needs to be connected. Connect it in SharpCloud.